Hi, today we're doing our Blue Book 8.4, number 6 through 18. We're using multiple inverse operations to multiple steps in order to solve for our inequalities. Okay, as we solve our inequalities, we will also graph them. Let's get started. On number 6, we have 2v minus 4 is less than 8. So we're going to remove our 4 to both sides, and therefore 2v will be less than 12. Then we divide both sides by 2, and v will be less than 6. When we graph, we have a 6, we have a 7, we have a 5. We will start at 6, and all integers that are less than 6 be on this side. Okay? Here we are starting with our 11/5. We're going to add 11/5 to both sides. All right, from there we have 15/5. It's less than 3w. Here we can work with a whole number by simplifying this 15/5 so that it is 3 less than 3w, and therefore we divide both sides by 3, and so 1 is less than w. We want to flip this around, so our answer will begin with our variable, so w is greater than 1, and so therefore when we graph, we have 1, we start at 1, and we want all integers that are greater than 1, but do not include 1. Here we have, we want to isolate 9.6 by removing it. All right, and we discover that the difference between these two is going to be 4.8, okay? And we move forward, we have negative 2.4r. We want to divide both sides by negative 2.4, and we discover, we isolate r, but because we divided by a negative integer, the inequality flips to the other side, and then 4.8 divided by negative 2.4 is going to be a 2. Therefore, we graph. Okay, it's going to be 2, and this should have been negative, okay, because of the difference here. So it's going to be a positive 2. So then when we graph, we have a 2 here. It includes 2, and we want all integers that are less than 2. Okay, let's move forward. Here for number 12, we have the distributive property. 6 times g is 6g plus 6 times 2 is 12, less than or equal to 18. We remove our 12, and we have 6g is less than or equal to 6. Divide both sides by 6, and g is less than 1. Okay, so when we graph, we have our 1, and so we want all variables that are less than 1. So we start at 1, and we graph to the left. Okay, here on number 14, we have a, here, as I noticed, it includes, okay, I didn't bring it down, so let's include. All right, so now let's move forward. For number 14, we have negative 10 and greater than or equal to, we distributive property, 5/3 h, okay, and then here, 5/3 times negative 3 is going to give us a 5, okay, because when 5/3 times 3 over 1, we're going to cancel out the 3, and then therefore be 5 times 1, and 1 will be in the denominator, so we have 5, okay. Let me show you. Times negative 3 over 1. That cancels, okay? And then therefore 5 times the 1, negative 1, will give us a negative 5 over 1. And that's how we got this answer, okay? Just want to be sure you understand that, all right? So now let's move on. we're going to move 5 to the other side, plus 5, plus 5. That's going to give us a negative 5 is greater than or equal to 5/3 h. Okay, now we're going to, instead of multiplying by 5/3 here, we're going to reciprocate it. Okay, and therefore when we do that, we're going to flip it over here, flip it over here, and then we're going to multiply it. H will be isolated. It was positive, so the inequality stays the same. And so therefore here, this is like 5/1. So these two cancel each other out, okay? But the negative is left, all right? Cancel. So 3 times a -1 gives us a -3, all right? So now visually, we want to flip this around so that we have H, okay, on the left side, and then this is -3, okay? So H is less than or equal to -3. So when we graph, we have our -3. This is our -4. This is our -2. Here we start at -3. We include -3, but we want all of the integers that are less than -3. Okay? Here on number 16, we have 2 7/10 is greater than 9/10 n, and then 9/10 n. Let's see. We have 1.7 times 9. That gives us 3. 9 plus 6 gives us 15. Two numbers are behind the decimal point, so it's 1.53 hundredths, 1 and 53 hundredths, and it's negative, so it's -1 and 53 hundredths. All right, so now let's move forward. We want to start with our additive inverse. Okay, and then therefore we have 3. Okay, and so now from there we want to we want to take our calculator and we take 4 23 hundredths and divide it by 9/10, and our answer is 4 7/10. So we have 4 7/10 greater than n. Okay, so now we want to graph that. All right, and what we would do here, we would have 4 7/10. Okay, and we have 5 7/10, and we have 3 7/10. Okay, we're going to start with the 4 7/10 here. We will not include it because it's not equal to. And visually, we want to flip this so that we have it in this order. So now we know that we want all integers, okay, that are less than 4 7/10. So we go in this direction, okay? Now, let's take a look at our last problem of the day. Our last problem of the day says that we have current balance of $320 in the bank with a minimum balance of $100. Okay, so it says write an inequality that represents the number of 20 bills you can withdraw without going below the minimum balance. Okay, so in essence, you want to be able to withdraw, which means you want to be able to subtract. Okay, so then what happens is if you have $320, minus your $20, but you don't know how many $20 you can do that. And you want to be sure that you do not go below 100. So it has to be less than or equal to $100. Okay? So now, from there, we move forward here with our inverse. So we have negative 320. So negative 20n is less than or equal to, in this case, we have 220, negative, right? Then we want to divide both sides by negative 20, okay? And so when we divide both sides by negative 20, let's see what we get. We get exactly 11, so that n is less than or equal to 11, all right? And so, because this is positive, the two negative makes it positive, so therefore, when we graph, we have 11, and we know that it includes 11, but it has to be everything less than 11 without us going, oh boy, did you get that? No, you didn't. Let me try it again, okay? We have 300 minus 20 in, we don't know how many $20 bills, less than or equal to $100. Then we move the 320 to the other side, negative 320, and therefore we were left with 220. Then we divided both sides by negative 20, okay? And then we discovered that n is less than or equal to 11, and then we graphed it, okay? That's our work for today, okay? See you in the morning. Bye.